Hey guys, today I'm going to transfer my fireplace from that to this. Now this is what we originally had when we moved into the house. I knew I loved the stone, but I could picture it being like whitewashed. I really wanted it to lighten up our living room a little bit. And this mantle here, this is builder grade. How do I know? Because I've been in my neighbors' homes and they have almost the identical one. If you're returning, welcome back. I am Kristen and I am the creative peacock. I love to do all things DIY because I'm too cheap to pay someone else to do it, but also I genuinely enjoy turning basic spaces into something beautiful, one budget-friendly project at a time. Around here, it's all about creativity, a little chaos, and making a home that feels like you. So grab your glue gun or just your coffee and let's jump in. Demo is always the fun part, and my husband was able to help me with this. We had to get off the old mantle, and as you can see, there's the wood underneath. That's what was holding it on, and I'm going to leave that so that we can use that to mount the new one on also. Always start with a clean surface. I am probably the most impatient person, so I really hate doing this part because I just want to jump in, get started, and get it over with. But I also have learned over the years that if you don't properly prep and clean, then your project is never going to come out well. All right. Here's where the real fun begins, painting the fireplace. I started out thinking I'd go for a whitewash look, so I watered down some latex paint and used a brush to dab it on. At first I thought, okay, maybe this is gonna work, but spoiler, it didn't. It didn't give me quite the vibe I wanted. So then I tried painting it on and wiping it off to lighten it up, kind of like a dry brush technique. But honestly, the faux stone just soaked up so much paint that wiping it off kind of felt pointless. In the end, I decided to just fully commit. I used a good old-fashioned brush for this whole thing. No roller, no sprayer, just me and my impatient self with a cup of paint and a dream. Pro tip: if you're working with faux stone or any texture surfaces, just know you're going to be chasing little gaps and grooves. Make sure to use a stiff bristle brush to really push the paint in. And don't skimp on those drop cloths. Things get messy fast. Now we get to the fun stuff, which is going to be like frosting your walls. And this is what I used, was that dry wall, and mine was the pink, so it turns white when it's dry, which helps. And I literally put it in just a Ziploc bag and then cut the tip off of it just like how you were going to frost a cake. The whole point of this was to get into all the cracks. It's like grouting, but you're grouting with a drywall mixture instead of actual grout itself. Just go in there and then I would smooth it all around with my fingers. It was really fun to do this part, but very time consuming. I wanted to make sure that there were no like high points, get it all in there, and you're just filling because I didn't want all those specific cracks to show between each of the rocks itself. It makes it more aesthetically pleasing to look at. You can see the gray of the rock underneath it. This was after doing just like the light layer of the whitewashing, kind of dry brushing it on. To be honest, I might have left some of the stones just more of the gray, but when I went in with the joint compound or spackle to fill in everything, it dried white, so there was a lot more white on there. And I had the choice to either go in and add more paint over it or go in and kind of like sand down. And I decided the whole point of this project was to lighten up my living room. I decided to go in with the white and do another layer over all the brick. And you can see it's just tying it all together now. You can see where the joint compound is whiter and then it went over the rocks a little bit. And now I could just go in and fill in with paint. I also found that I hadn't done the sides of them. There was probably about 1 to 2 inches on either side of the fireplace that didn't really have any white on them because I had only been looking at the fireplace straight on. Now I get to get started with the fun stuff, and that is the mantle itself. Knowing that I was going to paint all the rock white, I knew I wanted to do a wood mantle. I would have loved to get some reclaimed wood, but I just couldn't get my hands on any, so I decided to do what I always do and do a DIY, kind of a frame-shaped or C-shaped mantle, because if you remember from the beginning, it had that wood on the wall, and I'm going to mount it onto that. What I'm going to do here is just beat the crap out of some wood and make it look really old. I love working with wood, all the tools, because these were my grandfather's tools. I have his planes, I have his chisels. It's really neat to be able to use his tools for making stuff in my own home now. But there is no right or wrong way to go and make wood look old. As you can see, I'm just taking the hammer and beating the crap out of it, taking chunks out of it, chiseling, sanding, making marks any way I can to make it look really old. This is the brackets that I'm using, and this is how I'm doing that C-shape look to it that's going to mount on that wood itself. Next is to stain and decorate, and honestly, that's the part I'm really excited about. This project might be wrapping up, but around here, there's always something fun, chaotic, and a little unhinged in the works. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow along. You won't want to miss what's coming next.